A Caregiver Guide. Chapter 1. The Caregiving Process. Care for an elderly or disabled person. I watched my mother get Alzheimer's disease. I watched others get hepatitis and cancer. I watched a friend break at least a dozen bones in a car accident. It's sad to see strong people wither away, but it happens all the time. Aging is normal. Diseases are normal. Accidents are normal. Look in the mirror. I got one eye now. I'm waiting for a cataract operation. I suggest you go to the library and get some caregiving books at number 362.175-179 or RA997 and RC963 and check out some of the websites I list below. Don't cry too much. Try to be loving. Caregiving/Eldercare 1. Have faith, hope, clarity and love. Caregiver's mantra. A caregiver is someone who either lives with the person or comes in for anywhere from a few hours to a full-time shift every day. The caregiver is usually a relative, good friend, lover or hired help. Caregiving is often a team effort between patient and helper unless the patient is so far gone he or she can't communicate. Think of the patient as the boss, working with the helper to get what he or she wants as long as they're not too bossy or self-centered about it. A caregiver's basic daily responsibilities are as follows. Encourage the patient to stay hydrated by drinking plenty of liquids, not alcohol. Safeguard against infection by keeping the living area clean. Assist with daily bathing, toileting, and dressing. Keeping skin clean and moisturized. Turn bedridden patients to another position at least every 1 to 2 hours to avoid bed sores. Help the patient get some exercise. Check vital signs in the morning, at night, and anytime a new symptom emerges. Be a daily companion. Bathe patient and move him around the house. Assist with daily meals, dressing and routine medications. Look in on patients who live alone. Help raise the patient's children or deal with their relatives. Give patient a regular shave, shampoo, haircut, etc. Help with personal requests. Drive patient to and from doctor and hospital visits. Get the mail and accept hand deliveries. Drop off and pick up dry cleaning. Do the bank duties but don't embezzle money. Drive patient to and from daily activities. Take care of home and car maintenance. Do errands. Clean the trash. Shop for groceries. Have prescriptions filled. Pick up medical supplies. Prepare meals. Do laundry. Take care of pets. Handle the bills and personal affairs. Administer medications. Know when to call the doctor or the local emergency number. Constantly ask the patient what would he or she like you to do to make his life easier. The biggest problem between caregiver and patient, regardless of whether it's a relative or hired help, is assuming things and not communicating enough such that you see eye to eye and there's a clear understanding between the two of you. Work on the following guidelines together. Be positive about the situation. Educate yourselves about the illness and the pragmatic realities of dealing with it. Determine how much professional help and outside care, if any, you need. Make a plan of how to live with the illness. Decide how far you'll go, either full recovery or comfort in a modified form. Consider possible obstacles and how you'll deal with them. Have contingency plans like how you'll get to the hospital in case of emergency. Stick with a good plan and adjust it as necessary. Caregiving is generally tough emotionally both on the patient and the relatives. If the caregiver is hired help, it's often a tough job on them. There's often anger, denial, depression, and finally acceptance and compromise. You have to learn to work with it. Cooperate with the medical professionals as best as you can. They're there to help you. Help the patient by getting involved with them and finding as much information as you can about the illness and how to control it. Be empathetic and sensitive to what the patient is going through. If you take liberties with the patient such as steal their money or things, give them negligent care, etc., it's illegal and you will be charged criminally if caught. Caregiving is very hard work. It's not like caring for a child. It's caring for a full-grown adult, which is tougher. If they're of sound mind, they may even become antagonistic towards you. They feel a loss of dignity because they can't take care of themselves, so they often lash out against those closest to them, the caregiver. Try to be positive. Offer creative solutions to the patient's impediments. Try to understand his or her life. If you can't handle it alone, get help. It's often sudden after hospitalization. It's demeaning because you are very close physically to them and have to do embarrassing things like tend to bathroom needs. You must give them their dignity and some independence. You need your own life. Try to strike a balance between care and your own life. Don't be haphazard about it. Get organized. Write important phone numbers down. Try to get help from relevant organizations in the community. Look in the phone book for local senior organizations. Set up a meeting with relatives and other relevant people. Make a plan and a budget. Try to make the care interactive, spread out over several family members so that the burden is not on just one. Set up a home health care team for all the people involved in the care of the patient. Set up a routine. Try to keep them inspired about life as much as you can. Have a support network of friends and family. If they feel good enough, consider vocational rehabilitation, retraining to go back to work. Attitude is everything. Join a support group if you feel so inclined. Get professional counseling if you feel you need it. The illness will be a drain of money, so save well, manage your money, learn about your medical insurance plan and the government's medical assistance programs. There is often a point where you have to send a senior to a nursing home. Some older people are very protective about their homes. They will not want to move out. You'll have to coax them gently. Try not to make decisions without the afflicted person. Give them input into their own lives. There will be a lot of emotions on both sides, some of it negative. Try to make it a bonding period. Books about caregiving are at number 362.6, number 649.8 or HV1475 at the library. Caregiving/Eldercare 2. Caregiving can be stressful and exhausting. If you are caring for a loved one who has Alzheimer's disease or some other condition, learn all you can about the disease so you can be adequately prepared to deal with it. Watch your older relatives for warning signs that they can't take care of themselves. A messy house is a dead giveaway, as is poor personal hygiene, malnutrition, a confused disposition, memory loss, etc. Make all necessary legal and financial arrangements, including advance directives, durable power of attorney and payment of health care costs. Contact a lawyer to take care of all estate paperwork. Take precautions to protect your loved one from potential dangers such as falls, burns, poisoning and wandering away from home. Put an address card in their jacket pockets. Lock away hazardous objects and materials including medications, cleaning fluids, matches, lighters and firearms. Install locks on doors and windows. Placing night lights from the bedroom to the bathroom. Contact your doctor, local hospitals, and volunteer, community and health organizations for information about help, assistance, and support. Join a caregiver or disease support group. Consider hiring a professional caregiver through a home health agency. Prepare yourself to deal with the eventual loss of your loved one. A lot of people aren't suited to give care, even to a relative. They either have no patience or it's just sad to see your relative who was once strong and healthy degenerate into an old bag of bones. It's kinda like to put your parent into some impersonal nursing home is like cutting someone's spirit out because they'll have no free space and no privacy anymore, surrounded by strangers, waiting to die. It's sad. It's tough to choose what to do, take care of a parent on your own with help from others or give them up to a nursing home. In some cases, there is no choice. The person is too disabled to carry on at home even with a caregiver or two to help. In that case, it's a relief because it's beyond your control. Find your own line of home care versus transfer to nursing home care. Start thinking about long-term care. Gather information about long-term care facilities in your area. Follow a healthy lifestyle. There are a few major rules of home care. Yesterday's gone. This is life as lived now, not in your heyday when you were all strong and young. Don't do it alone. Let other siblings, friends, and relatives help. Take care of your own identity and self while doing the caregiving. Be realistic. As you see your loved one further slip away, you have to confront the hard decisions. Don't leave caregiving at the back of your mind. Plan now, first for your parent to move in with you or you with him, then for the move to the nursing home. There are basic indicators. Can he take care of basic life activities like buying food and paying bills? Can he clean himself? Is he lonely? The major forms of caregiving are: go to live with afflicted at their home. The afflicted comes to live with you at your home. Adult daycare, patient goes there several hours a day. Respite, patient goes anywhere from a day to a few weeks at a time. Caregiver who comes in for several hours a day. Visiting nurse. Residential care. Assisted living facility, group home. Assisted living, continuing care retirement community. Nursing home. Palliative care, hospice. There are many matters to take care of like financial, legal, Medicare, pension, medications, doctor visits, diet, safety in the home, religion, social, recreation, death, will, funeral, estate. Some elderly people have to be restrained. Although they have a driver's license, they're not really competent to drive. If the person is incompetent mentally and/or physically, you may have to get a power of attorney to manage their affairs. Illness often leads to death before one's time. Be ready for it. Face reality. Get financial affairs in order. Talk to a lawyer. Make funeral arrangements now. Affirm your life by preparing for the afterlife with your God. Finally, caregiving as a vocation or as an obligation to a loved one can be very stressful because you develop an emotional connection to the patient and feel guilty if you are not around all the time. But in order to be the best caregiver you can be, you need to find a balance with the patient and your own life, particularly your relationship with your spouse and your children, especially if they're under 18 years old. Take a break from caregiving here and there. Get enough sleep. Get some fresh air and physical activity. Watch your health. Wash yourself after dealing with the patient. Watch your mood to see if you feel overwhelmed or are getting depressed. Caregiving/eldercare 3. Most of us don't realize how tough it is to live through the process of going from strong person to frail one. They can't do simple tasks that you and I take for granted. Slow down and listen to them. Feel their pain. Don't fight. Don't attack their pride. Just make mild suggestions. Don't say you can't do that. Just offer an alternative suggestion. Go slow with them. A family is there to help each other. You should feel obligated to help your parents even if they don't ask for it because they're probably too proud. Talk to them as adults talking to adults. Be gentle, understanding, and compassionate. In some cases, it may get to the point where you have to parent the parent. In such cases, be easy with them, treat them with kid gloves. Everybody has a certain amount of pride. They may resent feeling less than independent, so proceed lightly. You have to overcome these psychological, emotional type barriers that could come between you helping your parents. Be nice but give them their space and dignity. Talk about everything and anything that might affect them. Money, health, housing, boredom, staying active, social life, marriage, relationship for a widow, legal, will, death, dying, aging, family issues, government, social security, Medicare, possible depression, mental health problems, loneliness, stress, regressing into the past, poorer eyesight, taking their medication, alcohol, eating properly, keeping clean, whether they notice signs of slowdown, if they can drive properly, If they have someone to talk to day by day, even a pet. Shopping for groceries. Your relationship with them. Other things. Try to resolve all unsolved baggage within the family to smooth things out for everybody, like if two siblings are at odds with each other, try to get them to make peace so the parents know before it's too late. Talk about yourself, your own life, your own problems, hopes and dreams, etc. Try to make your parents see that they raised a good person who wants to continue the torch they started and pass it on for the good of humanity. Most children and young adults never even conceive that they'll someday have to help their parents out, but if they're good people, their parents will need their help and they'll help them. The fact is that people get old and die, they get sick and have to take care of their affairs. Both sides are reluctant to do these things. The father doesn't want to have to reveal weaknesses to the kids, and the kids are too embarrassed to ask the parents if they need help, but the fact is that at some point in time, you must talk about things to get them straightened away before the inevitable happens and it all becomes a big mess. If you have brothers and sisters, all of you should get involved in this process. Beyond medical matters, the main issues are financial and legal matters, like the parents should tell the kids where the money is, make up legal wills, prepare for death and the funeral, etc. You should write it all down and keep it in notes. Parents get fragile with age. You should help them out but leave them their dignity. Don't mother them. Give them space. Let them make most of the decisions themselves unless they start acting irrationally. Talk to them human to get over any unresolved baggage from childhood. Act like an adult. Make them treat you like an adult, not like the kid you were 20 years ago. Think prevention. That means help them stay active in social activities, exercise, eating the right foods, avoiding fat and junk foods, believe in something, anything other than to just vegetate, use it or lose it both physically and mentally. Keep an interest in the doctors they go to and the treatments they're getting to watch that they're not getting ripped off, and watch out if they go for quack alternative therapies for things like arthritis, fountain of youth, etc. Everything will start to go. They are a limited version of the vibrant people they once were. You must accept that and help them out. Their eyesight will be weak, hearing will be weaker, memory will go, they'll feel tired, arthritis will creep in, joints will wear out, incontinence, ulcers, etc. You owe it to them to educate yourself and them about these disorders. Keep an eye on your parents that they stay clean, keep the house clean and try to look their bodies over inconspicuously for signs of sores or any other types of illnesses. Watch for little things like, do they wear clean clothes, changing and washing them often, do they drink much alcohol, do they live in a fog of prescription drugs, do they watch TV all day long, do they live in the past, etc. Isolation and alienation are part of growing old, especially after one part of a couple dies. The other feels lonely and may regress to living in the nostalgia of the past. That's all right as long as they don't lose a complete hold on reality. Many widows and widowers of long marriages die very soon after the first dies, it's a fact of life. Hospitals and nursing homes are a drag. When a parent goes, make it a point to visit them, bring uplifting gifts like flowers and try to get them to get up and around. Don't listen to everything the doctors say. I'm a strong believer in a concept called iatrogenesis, which means that hospitals make patients sicker and doctors actually create new diseases to diagnose the patients and keep them in the hospital or on treatments to make money, not necessarily to help them. Think twice before committing your parents to a nursing home or a retirement community. Despite what they say, the old-fashioned way is better, to have the parents live with their children in an extended family situation. Build them a basement apartment or a small cottage in the yard if possible, or if you can afford it, buy them a small house near where you live. Living with your parents is like living with a spouse. There will be bad times and disagreements, so take it cool when it happens. Many seniors in nursing homes die of a broken heart. If you commit your parents, try to visit them as often as possible. Some areas have housing programs for seniors. Check with your local agency on aging. As your parents near death, you may vie for a hospital stay, hospice care, or you may choose to have them spend their last remaining time at home in a peaceful setting. Don't get overly dramatic, just give them a peaceful, quiet, gentle atmosphere with which to pass on. Touch him and hold him and love him when he's dying. It's the best you can do. Let him lay in peace for a while if you want. Call your friends and relatives to tell them about it. In the end, you'll probably grieve for a while, then you have to accept it as part of life and know that your legacy is to honor your parents by being the best person you can be in the world. If your parents' taxable income is less than about $2,700 and they're your dependent, you can deduct some of the cost of your support, caregiver, and medical expenses on your tax return. Get Form 2441 from the IRS at 800-829-3676, irs.gov. If you share the burden with siblings, get Form 2120. Check out your local YMCA for courses for seniors. Gardening is a good activity. Check out your local agency on aging for resources on just about anything related to seniors. Eldercare Locator, 800-677-1116, eldercare.com, will give you a list of local facilities for medical services. The National Meals on Wheels program is located at givemeals.com, 800-999-6262. A/PACT stands for Parents and Adult Children Together. The sandwich generation means the parents, their adult children and their grandchildren. Books about talking to and caring for aging parents are at number 306.874 and HQ 1063 at the library. Caregiving/eldercare 4. Can you afford time off work to care for your parent? Have you talked to your children? You can still work and they can help out. Have him come live at your house. Sell his house, build an extra room or apartment onto your house. What are your senior's exact medical, legal and financial issues? How is the person coping now? Who will take care of him day by day? Is your senior mobile? Is there a need for a walker, scooter, or wheelchair? Will he stay at home or move to a nursing home? What can the community offer? Life Adult Daycare, Meals on Wheels, Senior Social Center. What is the proximity of the senior's house to you, his doctor, the hospital, etc.? If it's too far, better to move now than later. It's not very hard to see if someone is declining. The house looks messy. They look messy. They can't talk in a straight way all the time. Their spirit is gone. When you first realize that you will or should care for an aging parent, you often feel overwhelmed, wondering how you'll cope. Tell your relatives and her friends. Ask for help. Reassure her that you'll take care of things. Redo the house to suit her needs. Possibly quit work, take leave or a few weeks off to set her up in the home. You not only have to take care of her at home but become her advocate and spokesperson for medical care. You have to be up on experimental treatments, what could possibly help her that her insurance company is leery about because it costs them money. You have to drive her to the hospital, visit her then drive her back home. Help her do what she wants to make her happy. Some adult children sleep in the same bedroom so they just reach over to turn them over every few hours. Memory and mobility will go. Feed the person healthy food, try to get them up and about physically and keep their minds active. Install grab bars in bathrooms where the senior might have balance problems. Consider installing a raised toilet seat. Add sturdy handrails wherever you think they'll help. If the senior is still walking the stairs, remove all loose rugs and coverings. Make sure that the handrail is sturdy. Throw out flimsy chairs. Get sturdy chairs. Your aging parent wants you to love her, listen to her and help her. In the end, you're tired. The person who was once strong and vital is not the same person you see now. All of us answer to the physical limits of nature. You might have to move your parent to the hospital or hospice so they can get drugs to die in comfort. Make up a living will or advanced directive regarding medical treatment if the parent lapses out of consciousness. If your parent is dying little by little with the organs shutting down, they will be out of consciousness. There is no sense calling the doctor or ambulance. Let them die in peace, then call the funeral home. It's nature. Don't try to prolong the inevitable. If there is no quality of life left, it's time to move on. After it's over, you have to readjust to normal life again. That will take a year or so. Now I have to tell you the truth of the matter. There is a loss of dignity when you shove the bowl under your parent for them to poop, then you wipe their butt, but at this point life takes more precedent. It's better to hang on like this than to die because you love your parent and want them to keep living. Once you divorce love from it, death is common. Several dozen people die every day in any fair-sized city. Life goes on. The next generation repeats the cycle, then they pass. Dying is a part of living. The sooner you accept it for you and your loved ones, the better. Dying at home in your sleep is the best case scenario possible. It beats dying a violent death or dying in a hospital. Take care of financial affairs before they pass. Ask for your parents' financial papers. Get power of attorney. Spend money to help him, but don't spend so much that he loses the house. Sometimes, people sell the house for economic reasons. The only alternative is a non-profit nursing home. If one parent dies and the other is alive, you might have to help that parent with practical things. A lot of women, at least in the past, never deal with the finances of the house. Get them a copy of my money book. Caregiving One-Liners 1. Seeing a loved one deteriorate is always a shock at first. You have to take control, plan out a reasonable daily routine. Talk about the situation to the level that you feel comfortable with. The sick person is probably in denial, ashamed, and doesn't want to talk. Don't let the sick person put a guilt trip on you and try to make you do more than you reasonably can. Some sick people get clingy and always want you around. It's really hard to change people, especially old sick people. Try to tell them that what you are doing is good for them. Try to help, but ultimately it's that person's illness. Only they can try to stay inspired about their lives. If the sick person does not want to talk and express himself, that's fine. You can only do so much. Some people, like friends and relatives, are busybodies. They will tell you what to do and give plenty of unsolicited advice. No matter what, everybody needs rest. There is still intimacy. If you're caring for your spouse, you can still be affectionate and sexual. Don't let anyone try to abuse you or try to take advantage of you. Don't be afraid to ask for help if you think you need it. Don't feel guilty about having fun sometimes. Don't be too dependent on the other person. Don't hesitate or stall about doing something that is good for you. Try to relax. Try not to isolate yourself. It can make you feel alone. You can't stop death. Honorable dying people want you to be the best you can be. Try to have fun and even go out sometimes, if just for a car drive. Get enough sleep. Eat healthy foods. Get some exercise. Go to church if you're a believer. Do funeral planning in advance. Keep your sense of love even when you feel like crying or get angry. You can't do anything about your loved one's state of health. Just try to keep everything happy and comfortable. Take care of your finances. Money books are at number 332 at the library. Take care of your own health. Try to make medical appointments. Oxygen is the key to life. Be physically and mentally active to get oxygen to the brain and through the body. There is a certain amount of hope and a certain amount of inevitability. Try to live an inspired life every day, no matter what. You achieve that by doing something that comes from your true nature, as I've talked about in my book A Free Spirit's Search for Enlightenment. Everybody dies. I already made peace with my death. It's no big deal. I'm on borrowed time. I escaped death already by living through bad accidents. Until then I will cherish life, but when my time comes, I won't cry. I will do it with nobility. Check out local hospices. Make final arrangements. Try to tell others that it's okay that you're dying. It's normal. Treat you like a friend until the very end. Dying is a part of living. Move on and continue to release your free spirit as fully as possible after loved ones die. Caregiving One-Liners 2. Visit the patient regularly with love. Do grocery shopping. Ask what you can do to help. Offer to stay with the patient. Give book or MP3s of short stories. Offer to go places together, even a walk or a ride. Do things to make them feel included and less isolated. Include the patient and family in your activities. Do not visit if you have a cold or the flu. Make it clear that you are there to help and give support, not to offer sympathy. Be calm and just be there. Be a good listener. Reassure them by saying you have chosen freely to be there. Treat the patient as if you expect them to live. Allow them to express anger. Help them relieve stress. Express love at every opportunity. Touch, hug, kiss. The patient needs reassurance that you are caring. Give them little gifts. Be a friend. Be cheerful. Don't be depressed. Be honest with the patient. Treat the patient as a worthy individual. Talk like an adult. Don't treat them like kids. Even though someone is sick, they are still that person who was loving, had interests, etc. Do not assume the patient is going to die. Many are cured. Bring messages, music, and books of support. Share your feelings. Help them talk and share their feelings. Encourage them to be physically and mentally active. Be funny and laugh. Watch funny movies. Do not tell horror stories of other patients. Reminisce about good times. Have an optimistic outlook. Encourage the patient to try anything that gets them moving. Be natural and loving. You might have to support your parents. It's possible that your parents run out of money and you have to support them, especially if they get sick or injured. Older people get sick or lose their mind through Alzheimer's, then their pension is not enough to cover their medical expenses. Medicare only covers about 53% of healthcare costs for its recipients. Learn about money from either My Money book or get books at number 332 at the library. The National Family Caregiver Support Program, NFCSP. The National Family Caregiver Support Program, funded by the Federal Older Americans Act, Title III, is an organization that helps people of any age who serve as unpaid caregivers for people ages 60 and older. The goal of this program is to relieve the emotional, physical, and financial hardships of providing continual care. National Family Caregivers Association. 10604 Concord Street. Number 501. Kensington, Maryland 20895-2504. 800-896-3650. nfcacars.org. info@nfcacars.org. Chapter 2. The caregiver has to take care of themselves too. A Caregiver's Bill of Rights. The American Association of Retired Persons at AARP.org and the National Well Spouse Foundation, wellspouse.org, have published a Caregiver's Bill of Rights, which are guidelines for caregivers to live by. The following points come from the article Helping an Aged Loved One by Joe Horn. Use the list as guideline but add your own points to it as you go along. I have the right to take care of myself. This is not an act of selfishness. It will give me the capability of taking better care of my relative. To seek help from others even though my relative may object. I recognize the limits of my own endurance and strength. To maintain facets of my own life that do not include the person I care for, just as I would if he or she were healthy. I know that I do everything that I reasonably can for this person, and I have the right to do some things just for myself. To get angry, be depressed and express other difficult feelings occasionally. To reject any attempt by my relative, either conscious or unconscious, to manipulate me through guilt, anger, or depression. To receive consideration, affection, forgiveness, and acceptance for what I do from my loved one for as long as I offer these qualities in return. To take pride in what I am accomplishing and to applaud the courage it has sometimes taken to meet the needs of my relative. To protect my individuality and my right to make a life for myself that will sustain me in the time when my relative no longer needs my full-time help. To expect and demand that as new strides are made in finding resources to aid physically and mentally impaired persons in our country, similar strides will be made toward aiding and supporting caregivers. The caregiver needs help/caregiver support groups. When you care for someone like an aging parent or a relative with some disease like Alzheimer's or cancer, you could get worn out because it never ends. Support groups can be in person or they can be online. There are some healthcare providers like the local hospital that provides caregiver support groups. A caregiver support group might help you emotionally, but you can also get practical knowledge and ideas from them. Look up home health services in your local phone book. Your best bet is to find a doctor who specializes in home care. Contact your local health and human services offices for referrals and find a support group. Home health care books are at number 649.8 and RC108 at the library. Books about dying at home are at number 362.196 or R726.8 at the library. nfcockeries.org/connecting_caregiver_community_action_network.cfm, Caregiver Community Action Network. AAAPHX.org/caregiver+support+groups, Phoenix, AZ. aging.lacytie.org/caregivers/support.cfm, Los Angeles. alzenique.org/caregivers/support.asp. anokacounty.us/v1_seniors/caregivers/caregiver-support-groups.asp. cancerlifeline.cmiregistration.com/supportgroups.aspx, this group is designed specifically for caregivers. Caregiver.com. Caregiver.org. Caregiversupportservices.org, Caregiver Support Services of Omaha, NE. Caregiving.com. carersconnectint.com, support group for caregivers. caring.com/tips/caregiver-support-groups. dhss.delaware.gov/dhss/dsaapd/caregivesg.html, caregiver information and support. eldercare.com, the advantages of caregiver support groups. geistbloggs.com/blog/alzheimer-association-local-family-caregiver-support-groups, Indianapolis, in. helpguide.org/elders/caring_for_caregivers.htm. mskcc.org/mskcc/html/18092.cfm, Sloan Kettering Help for Caregivers, Families, and Friends. nncf.unl.edu/family/eldercare/tips-caregiver/caregiver-support-groups. parents.berkeley.edu/recommend/therapy/caregiver.html, Berkeley Parents Network, Caregiver Support pbs.org/wgbh/caring for your parents/handbook/caring caregiver/support-groups.html. scrc.signonsandiego.com, Southern Caregiver Resource Center, San Diego, CA. ssw.unc.edu/cares/aaafile.htm, North Carolina. westchestergov.com/aging/caregivers-support-groups.htm. American Self-Help Clearinghouse. St. Clair's Riverside Medical Center. 100 East Hanover Avenue. Number 202. Cedar Knolls, New Jersey 07927-2020. 800 MASH. 800-367-6274. 973-326-6789. 973-326-8853. 973-625-7101. 973-625-9053, TDD. Fax, 973-625-8848. Fax, 973-326-9467. ashc@cybernext.net. cmhc.com/self-help. selfhelpgroups.org. Mostly mental health help, but also help in locating local support groups in most conditions. Chapter 3. Caregiver Support Group websites from dmoz-odp.org. Caregiver Support Group websites. abledata.com, AbleData, funded by the National Institute on Disability and Rehabilitation through the Office of Special Education and Rehabilitative Services. They have a database of over 30,000 products to assist the disabled. They also have a complete complement of additional services, including help in buying and selling used equipment. care-givers.com/community/community.html, empowering caregivers, interactive community with attention to emotional and spiritual support to empower the role of caregiving. carerssupport.org.uk, Carers Support Services, information, links, advice, and online support. With discussion board, news, chat rooms, contacts, and polls. caringroad.org, Caring Road, support network links caregivers with others. cftc.org.uk, Care for the Carers, supports people in East Sussex, UK, who look after sick or disabled relatives, friends, neighbours, partners, or children in their own homes. coachingcaregivers.com, Coaching Caregivers LLC, caregivers find solutions to caregiving problems and a desire to begin or resume personal and professional goals. costsaycarers.co.uk, COSI Carers Support Group, a voluntary support group for unpaid carers who look after for family or a friend. Located in Norwich and Norfolk, UK. crossroadsrotherham.co.uk, Rotherham Crossroads, promotes individual care packages for in-home carers and people with care needs. fgainc.com, FGA, provides consulting services, claims processing services, training services, and outsourcing services to home health care providers. homecarenewjersey.org, Home Health Assembly of New Jersey, organization which offers information, assistance, and advocacy for home health care providers, patients and their families. maxvision.co.uk, MaxVision, the long-term care system, information for carers and those needing support on a long-term basis. NYSHCP.org, New York State Association of Healthcare Providers, a statewide trade organization representing home care and community-based providers through advocacy, information, and education. Membership, providers, publications, and contacts. rcss.org.uk, Redbridge Carers Support Service, Carers Support Service providing information, support, and recognition. Located in Redbridge, UK. TASI.org, Texas Association for Home Care, non-profit organization aimed at improving acute, subacute, rehabilitative, and long-term care. Information on membership, upcoming events, directories, regulations, publications, and contacts. thecarenetwork.co.uk, The Care Network. The Care Network offers information and support to make life easier for carers and the person they care for. It also gives opportunities to meet other carers, share experiences, and work together. Alzheimer caregiver websites. alzheimer.wstl.edu, Alzheimer's Disease Research Center, ADRC, Alzheimer's Disease Resources, Information and Support Group, from University of Washington, St. Louis. Alzheimersvideo.com, Alzheimer's Disease Videos, videos for caregiving for Alzheimer's disease, including calming, relaxing videos of nature that persons with Alzheimer's can enjoy. alzionline.phhp.ufl.edu, Alzheimer's Caregiver Support Online, provides education for those in the caregiver role, and a list of resources in the Florida area. caringtohelpothers.com, Caring to Help Others, a training manual preparing volunteer to assist caregivers of older adults. healingwell.com/community/default.aspx?f=8, Alzheimer's disease community, message boards and chat dedicated to sharing information, offering support, and coping strategies to deal with Alzheimer's disease. Particularly useful for caregivers. knowitalz.com, Know It Alz Group, the author Kathy, cares for my 79-year-old dad who has Alzheimer's disease and lives with her in North Carolina. She writes a daily weblog that shows the lighter side of caring for someone with dementia. Also news and further resources. lightbridgehealthcare.com, Lightbridge Healthcare Research, Inc., a provider of learning resources and educational guides based on cutting-edge Alzheimer's disease research, custom designed for the at-home caregiver. Timeslips.org, Timeslips, a site detailing stories told by patients with Alzheimer's disease, part of an artistic, multi-city, intergenerational endeavor. Zarkram.com/users/Alzheimer's, Alzheimer's Outreach, provides personal accounts and resources for families and carers. Parental child care support groups. BecauseILoveYou.org, Because I Love You, non-profit organization dedicated to supporting parents with troubled children of any age. ConductDisorders.com, oppositional defiant support group, help for ADHD, AD, OD and CD. Parent, professionals, and teen support groups. Groups.yahoo.com/group/teens_and_tweens, parenting teens and tweens, moderated Yahoo group for parents of teens and tweens. Members.tripod.com/candycane2/parents.html, Parent Depot, email support list was created for the overtaxed parent in mind. nfpainc.org, National Foster Parent Association, information regarding foster parenting, and resources for training, education, and advocacy. ParentsUnitingTogether.com, Parents Uniting Together, a self-help parent support group. A group of parents that will no longer put up with unacceptable behavior from their children. POMC.com, Parents of Murdered Children, an organization for the families and friends of those who have died by violence. Prematurity.org, Premature Baby, Premature Child, support for parents of children born prematurely. TheParentingNetwork.org, The Parenting Network, strengthening families, preventing child abuse. Providing education, information, resources, and support for parents and other caregivers of children, infants through teens. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. ThepCI.com, Parent Coaching Institute. The PCI offers parent coaching and help with parenting skills and discipline, parent self-care, and parent career decision-making with a nationwide parent coach network. UnitedParents.org, United Parents, for families in crisis, helps children and their families by providing support, assistance, education, and resources. Camarillo and Ventura, California. Senior caregiver websites. AdvancedSeniorSolutions.com, Advanced Senior Solutions, Inc., geriatric care management specialists assist seniors and families arrange the right mix of services to best meet their health, emotional, and financial needs. AgeWiseLiving.com, AgeWise Living. AgeWise Living provides coaching and counseling on care for the aging to families and professional caregivers. Alzheimer's Care Resource Center.com, Alzheimer's Care Resource Center, Alzheimer's disease education, information, training, and referrals, as well as specially selected products designed to improve the quality of life for patients and their caregiver. Angelfire.com/New York 2/Dementia 1/Index.html, Dementia, a guide for the caregiver, a guide and resource for caregivers of dementia. Written from a personal perspective. Asaging.org, American Society on Aging, enhancing the skills and knowledge of those working with older adults and their families. Events, training. Care-givers.com, empowering caregivers, resources, chat room, messages boards, and newsletter devoted to carers of the elderly. Careforlife.net, Care for Life, offers older adults, family caregivers, and physicians a single source for providing information and referrals and locating and arranging services and supports for seniors in the Capital Region in New York. Caregiver.com, Caregiver.com, features the online version of today's Caregiver magazine, including some current articles and archives. Also contains informational resources, discussion groups, and a newsletter. Caregiver.org, Family Caregiver Alliance, a clearinghouse on brain disorders, caregiver assistance and long-term care public policy. CaregiverResourceCenter.com, the Caregiver Resource Center, a step-by-step guide to understanding the aging process and needs of both elders and their caregivers. Services include information, education, consultation, counseling, and support for elders and caregivers. Caregiving.com. Caregiving.com offers access to support, information, and resources for caring for an aged relative. careoncallluckltd.co.uk, Care on Call, UK, Ltd, residential care agency based in Swindon, Wiltshire, UK. Includes a list of services and a company profile. Carerunner.com, Care Runner, enables caregivers to coordinate care for a loved one. Provides tools to help keep health records and share information with other caregivers and family members. ComfortKeepers.com, Comfort Keepers, provides individual in-home non-medical senior care, companionship, and recreation. CompassionateComp.com, Compassionate Companions Incorporated, elderly care services in Central and South Florida. Includes a list of services and contact information. DISC.org.uk, DISC offers advice and information to carers of older people who have dementia. ec-online.net/community/communit.htm, Eldercare Online Community Center, interactive community with chat message boards and individual mentors for caregivers with emphasis on Alzheimer's care. ec-online.net, Eldercare Online, offers information, resources, education and support on Alzheimer's care, home care, independent living, insurance coverage, legal and financial matters, and wellness. EdenCan.com, The Eden Alternative, Region 16, a philosophy of care for seniors. A tool for improving quality of life for the elderly to eliminate boredom and loneliness. Eldercare.gov, Eldercare Locator, local information, referral resources, and contact information for state and local agencies, from the United States Health and Human Services Department. Eldercareadvisors.com, Eldercare Advisors, elder care services, advice, training, and publication for caregivers and children of elderly parents. Eldercareconsultants.us, Eldercare Consultants, PLLP, provides nursing services, planning, referral, and service procurement for the geriatric community. Includes a list of services and contact information. Minnesota, USA. Eldercarelink.com, Eldercare Link, a free referral service that helps caregivers and families find the right eldercare options in their area. Eldercarememphis.com, Eldercare Consultants of Memphis, helping services for the elderly or homebound family member who needs special care. Eldercaresolutions.com, Eldercare Solutions, Inc., consulting, referrals and locator services for persons seeking the best care solutions for an elder parent or spouse in the Chicago area. Excarix.com, A Carer's Experience of Medical Neglect. This site describes my experiences of medical neglect of my elderly mother, troubles caused to me as a carer and lack of communication by the medical fraternity. FamilyAssistance.net, Family Assistance Network, provides personalized care management to the frail elderly, their family and caregivers. This site provides advice from various professionals, and feedback from residents of nursing homes and assisted living. FamilyCareAmerica.com, Family Care America, an online resource for caregivers. Information on home care, financial planning, aging, assisted living, seniors, retirement, diseases, cancer, Alzheimer's, stroke, medications, estate planning, support. FamilyCaregiverWeb.com, the Family Caregiver Web, news, information, resources, and tips to help family caregivers help a loved one who is disabled, chronically ill, or aging. A positive, light, occasionally humorous look at caregiving. FGCMA.org, Florida Geriatric Care Managers Association, Directory of and Information for Geriatric Care Managers in Florida. GetCare.com, GetCare Long-Term Care Assessment, listing long-term and elder care options. Searchable database for services by area. HealthyCaregiver.com, the Healthy Caregiver Magazine, an elder care resource magazine for family and professional caregivers. HelpingCaregivers.com, HelpingCaregivers.com, offers online resources for family caregivers. Also offers support for caregivers in the South Plains region of Texas, USA. HomeInstead.com, Home Instead Senior Care, provides non-medical care, assistance, and companionship to the elderly. ICAA.cc, International Council on Active Aging, information, education, resources to promote wellness in aging. EDOAHomecare.org, Illinois Association of Community Care Program Home Care Providers, Care Services Association for Elderly Home Care Providers. LongTermCareLink.net, Long-Term Care Link, provides a wide variety of information and referrals to assist, educate, and support those responsible for arranging long-term care. Neighborly.org, Neighborly Senior Services, a non-profit organization providing meals and other life-sustaining services to the frail, homebound, seniors and their families for 35 years in Pinellas County, Florida. NFCACars.org, National Family Caregivers Association, NFCA, caregiving advocacy organization with tips and statistics on caregiving in America. NoFEC.org, National Organization for Empowering Caregivers, NOFAC, charitable organization providing caregivers with assistance, education, support, and referrals. Includes resources, an event list, and membership information. PathfinderGCM.com, Pathfinder Care Management provides advocacy, support, and resource recommendations to Twin Cities seniors and their caregivers. Providerhelper.tripod.com/elder.html, elder suicide, information and resources on elder suicide. RESOURCE4SENIORS.com, Care Resources, a one-step provider of geriatric care services in the United States. SENIOR-SOLUTIONS.com, Senior Solutions, provides care for aging loved ones in Allentown, Easton, Reading, and Bethlehem, Pennsylvania and surrounding communities. SeniorCareDallas.com, Senior Care Dallas, in-home care services to senior citizens living in the Dallas, Texas, USA area. SeniorCitizenCNS.com, Senior Citizen Consultants, Michigan-based nurses who have years of geriatric and rehabilitation experience in assessing healthcare needs, developing plans, and accessing community resources to maximize goals of independence. SeniorLink.com, SeniorLink, provides eldercare solutions in the United States. Includes a list of services and a company overview. SeniorMag.com/caregiver resources/handbook/index.htm, SeniorMag, Caregiver's Handbook, information covering health and lifestyles for seniors and caregivers, including a compendium of resources. SeniorsMile.com, Senior Solutions of Pinellas County, Florida, geriatric care management service offering consulting on home health, assisted living, nursing homes, medical issues, and legal questions. SFSeniors.org, Coalition of Agencies Serving the Elderly, CASE provides resource information for caregivers, seniors, and professionals working with the elderly in San Francisco, California, and the Bay Area. SoundviewMed.com, resources for caregivers, products, and information for Australian caregivers and seniors. STANDREWS1.com, St. Andrews resources for seniors, STARS, a faith-based, not-for-profit organization dedicated to serving seniors in the St. Louis, Missouri area by helping with senior housing and community services. TheCareGuide.com, Care Guide, guide to seniors housing and care services including retirement homes, nursing homes, home health care, adult lifestyle retirement communities, supportive housing and palliative hospice care in British Columbia, Alberta, Ontario and Nova Scotia. TheInfoCenter.info, the Information Center, Inc., provides information and assistance in accessing public resources and community services. Includes a discussion board, a list of services, and success stories. WeCare.freewebpages.org, Caregivers in the San Fernando Valley, caregiving service in the Los Angeles, San Fernando Valley area. WithAllIttleHelp.com, With a Little Help, provides home services for seniors, aging parents, and people with special needs, including respite care, companionship, housework help, and transportation. Washington State, USA.